Anyway, who's the biggest competitor to Tesla? None. There are no competitors to Tesla. But when they do come, they'll be Chinese. This is the real magic, these three components. These three components are brilliant. They save Tesla a huge amount of battery. A huge amount of battery that is used now for giving me extra mileage as opposed to heat and cooling. This is by what our calculations, I think we're looking at 15 or 20% less usage, like the electrical usage. We're looking at, I think it was 13% more range. I believe the difference in weight between this and this is something like 15%. A 15% weight change to go to the new battery style, that's a big deal. This also gives you more range because this has more power than 2 or 3 of those. So at the end of the day, I'm going to be looking at this as being one of their improvements for range. The amount of time to shoot this is measured in milliseconds. Milliseconds. I'm not saying seconds. I'm saying milliseconds.
Hey, I'm Stephen and this is Solving the Money Problem. If you're new, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. So guys, another background change. What's the story today? Mandatory 14-day hotel quarantine. That's right, I'm back in Australia. Shout out to my homies, hit me up. We'll catch up soon. So in today's video, I'm going to be reacting to some comments from the automotive engineering expert of experts, Sandy Munro. Sandy's going to share some of his thoughts on Tesla's giant giga press and the huge casting, the octovalve and heat pump, Cybertruck's exoskeleton and crash safety of the Cybertruck, Tesla's 4680 cells, how important work ethic is, and Sandy also shares his thoughts on Tesla not spending money on advertising, nor having a PR department. So let's get into the video. And by the way, since I know there's a lot of crypto lovers watching and people who like free stuff, it's your lucky day. For a limited time, you can get up to $250 in free crypto bonuses when funding a new account on BlockFi, where you can use cryptocurrency to earn interest, borrow cash, and buy or sell crypto. If you want your free crypto, use the link in the description. It also helps out the channel. And if you'd like up to 2 free stocks, check out the link in the description to WeBull. If you open a new account, you'll get 1 free stock valued up to $250 just for opening an account. And if you fund your account with $100, you'll get a second free stock valued up to $1,600. Unless you don't like free stocks, that is. And if you're in Australia, the UK, or New Zealand, you can get a free stock with stake, also using the link in the description. Let's get back to it.
What is the break-even point for using a giga press versus traditional manufacturing? It appears that the break-even volume must be higher, but how much higher? There's an E missing. Need a car that sells in high volume. Okay, so the giga press probably beats out standard stamping if you're a brand new product and you're going to be making more than 100,000 of something. The break-even point for the giga press, like I say, is probably going to be somewhere over 100,000 vehicles. Then it's going to really shine. It'll beat the pants off of a stamped and welded carriage, lower platform. Now, the big thing with this is that the giga press with tooling is going to cost significantly less than a stamped product out of steel. So if you're going to be building a car that's 100,000 or more, and you don't have any body shop right now, why would you even think about buying one? Tesla's shown the way on that, and I would say that Hydra is your new best friend.
Some fascinating insights here from Sandy suggesting that if you're producing a vehicle at volume, that is 100,000 plus units per year, you'd basically need to be a complete and utter moron not to try to copy exactly what Tesla's done and do a gigantic casting. And he also said towards the end there, Idra is your friend. Idra, the name of the company that actually produces the gigantic giga press that Tesla's using. And by the way guys, let me know in the comments below if you'd like me to do a deep dive on the Idra giga press. I'd love to do it. Let me know if there's some interest.
Would you personally buy a Model Y or a Maki? No. I am not going to wait. The Model Y isn't my kind of car, and a Maki, maybe when I was young, maybe. And maybe when I was young with a Model Y as well. I don't have kids. I don't go, well, that's not true. I do like to go fast, but I'm waiting for Cybertruck. I have recommended both the Model Y, the Model 3, and the Model E to friends, or the Maki to friends. And I said that's tentative. So I said, don't buy one until we tear it apart, a Maki. What are your thoughts on Apple getting into the automotive industry? NDA, sorry. Next.
Man, I would kill to know what Sandy knows about the Apple electric vehicle. We also heard there he's a big fan of the Cybertruck. Me too. Perfect vehicle for me. In fact, that is the very first Tesla I will ever own. Reserved one was originally announced and unveiled at the Cybertruck event. Amazing. Of course, that was also an arbitrage opportunity. Elon Musk and Tesla had told us FSD price is going to keep going up. You can lock it in at $7,000 today by reserving a Cybertruck for $100. Did exactly that. I made a $3,000 ROI on that $100. Not bad. And I wonder what FSD will be worth by the time the Cybertruck's actually released. Let me know in the comments below. Did you reserve a Cybertruck?
Can you tell us anything else about the SpaceX visit that you didn't already air? Some of the stuff I saw, I don't think I can talk about it too much. One thing that maybe you don't know is that Corey and I spent about an hour and a half after the interview in a design review for a rocket engine, and that was pretty interesting that we would be invited to do that. So I only made one suggestion. Elon thought it was maybe worthwhile, but we had to leave. The other thing you should know is that these guys were still working, and it was 10:30 at night. The reason that Tesla and SpaceX and the Boring Company and everybody else is successful is because, as Elon or somebody said,
you need to work, depending upon how well you want to do, and particularly if you're starting a company, you need to work super hard. So what does super hard mean? Well, when my brother and I were starting our first company, instead of getting an apartment, we just rented a small office and we slept on the couch. And we showered at the YMCA, and we're so hard up we had just one computer. So the website was up during the day, and I was coding at night, 7 days a week, all the time. And I sort of briefly had a girlfriend in that period, and in order to be with me, she has to sleep in the office. So work hard, like, every waking hour. That's the thing I would say, particularly if you're starting a company. And I mean, if you do simple math, say like, okay, if somebody else is working 50 hours and you're working 100, you'll get twice as much done in the course of a year as the other company.
Wise words here from Elon Musk, and pretty simple math too. Work twice as many hours, get twice as much done. And by the way, guys, I just want to be really clear here. I'm not trying to pedestalize workaholism, etc. I think people in their nature, they either are a workaholic or they aren't. It's not something you can really choose to do. Some people, they tap out 40 hours a week, I'm done. Some people maybe 60, some 80, some even more than that. Some can sustain this for a multi-decade period, others can't. But Elon's right. He or she who works the hardest and the most is probably going to win.
Nobody did anything that changed the world in an 8-hour day or a 5-day week. So I truly believe that. And here at Munro, if you want a job here, you're going to have to be a workaholic because we spend a lot of time here. I leave at 6 or whatever at night, 6 or 7 at night, get in at 7. And there's people here before me and here after me.
Let me know in the comments below if any workaholics are watching. And also, do you think it's a blessing or a curse? Is your workaholism an affliction or something positive? I gotta say, in my case, I wouldn't want it any other way. I do not have a balanced life whatsoever, but that's exactly the way I like it.
And what's the difference between the super bottle with a PTC heating system on an old Model 3 versus the new style heat pump with the octovalve and super manifold? Now, this is one that I kind of anticipated. So right here, this is the super bottle. And when this came out, I was really excited. But when you do a comparison in cost and efficiency and actually the drain that there is on the batteries, this may be great for an ICE vehicle now. If I was still at Ford, I would definitely be considering this if I had an ICE vehicle instead of what I've got now with a bottle here, a bottle there, a bottle everywhere. If I had something like the if I did the VW ID4. I would suggest this if they wouldn't go to that. So let's put this aside and let's look at this. Now, here we have, this is the octovalve. The actual heat pump is too big for me to, it's not here and I'm not running to the back to get it. But anyway, this is the real magic, these three components. These three components are brilliant. They save Tesla a huge amount of battery. That is used now for giving me extra mileage, as opposed to heat and cooling. This is by what our calculations, I think we're looking at 15 or 20% less usage, like the electrical usage. We're looking at, I think it was 13% more range. I think that we were looking at a cost reduction.
I just want to riff on the octovalve heat pump a little bit more. Regular viewers of the channel will have already heard about this technology, mind-blowing at the time, still mind-blowing today. Tesla put their gigantic engineering brains together and managed to do something quite incredible. They reduced parts, reduced processes, integrated an enormous amount, saved weight, extended range, and also basically just swung around the gigantic throbbing engineering brains and flexed on the entire automotive industry, who could have done the same thing decades ago, yet didn't. The question is, why not? Why is it that it took Tesla to come up with a solution that anyone else could have developed? I think there's a slew of reasons. Of course, one of the obvious, there's a lot of dinosaurs working in these legacy companies. A lot of people also just gigantic, pleasing, pandering pussies who have no balls whatsoever. And even if an engineer at one of these companies has a great idea, most don't have the courage to present that with a strong enough argument and really fight for the idea. You know what I'm talking about, right? Present an idea, manager goes, oh yeah, no, do it. And then what do you say? Oh, okay, that's fine. Or do you go, no, fuck you, mate. This is a brilliant fucking idea. We're going to pursue this. Fuck you. I'm willing to risk my job over this because it's really important. There aren't that many people working at these companies, whereas Tesla, that's the culture. Elon has literally said he will fire you if you don't delete parts and processes, okay? If you don't fight for these ideas. The whole job at Tesla is to constantly rock the boat and change and improve and innovate, whereas every other company, their modus operandi, keep doing things we've always been doing. Don't rock the boat. Just keep things the same, nice and comfortable and safe until we go bankrupt.
Cybertruck. So the exoskeleton upstairs is looking at basically a big monolith design. It's one big giant structure. It's going to have some welding and things like that here and there, but for the most part it'll have a lot less parts than what we would find inside of a conventional, say, F-150 or something. The bottom is going to be like this. And I just did something for some folks asking about the mega casting, and I happen to have I have all the details on that, but where's the picture that I'm looking for? Watch, it'll be the last thing. It's probably the last thing in here. Here it is. Yep, here we go. So this is what's been published by the folks over at Tesla. I don't even know where I got this picture from, but this is showing that the whole bottom dress, the whole platform for the Cybertruck is basically three gigantic pieces. This makes a big difference. My body shop is going to shrink to about maybe. It'll shrink by 80%, 75, 80% for sure. There's no robots, there's no welding, there's no people needed, or very few number of people needed.
Sandy Munro, spot on. In fact, the very reason I started this YouTube channel was to explain exactly that. Cybertruck had just been unveiled, seeing so much discussion, people saying, I hate the design, it's ugly, it's weird, why would you do that? Everyone seemed to jump to the conclusion, erroneously, that the Cybertruck had been designed to look the way that it looks for aesthetic reasons rather than for engineering reasons, aka it was intentionally designed to be extremely cheap, fast and efficient to manufacture, deleting an enormous amount of parts and processes, getting rid of the entire stamping shop, like so much stuff.
I think that you're looking at something that's a lot less complicated, and it's going to be a lot easier to put in those things that we have to put in, like wires and hoses and whatnot for brakes and things like that, because I can design in, if I'm using an Exoskeleton design or the Mega casting designs, I can weave all my wires. I don't have to have much of anything. Every feature I need is already going to be there. I'll only need simple snap fits to hold everything together. What low-tech features can Tesla do to improve their range? Can they dramatically reduce their drag coefficient? What do you suggest they do to lower their weight? They're already doing something. So I can't remember the exact number, but I believe, and if anybody has the number, jump right in. I believe the difference in weight between this and this is something like 15%. A 15% weight change to go to the new battery style, that's a big deal. This also gives you more range because this has more power than 2 or 3 of those. So at the end of the day, I'm going to be looking at this as being one of their improvements for range. Do you have any insight on how Tesla will design the Cybertruck to crumple on impact? This is like a tank. I don't think I have to worry about me. I'd say that there may be some others that would have a problem, but in an accident, I would feel very comfortable being in a Jeep Wrangler. The Tesla Cybertruck is going to be just as protective. It will have crumple zones to help other people, but I'm pretty sure that I'm going to be just fine.
I remember when I originally posted my Cybertruck is Engineering Genius video, I had a lot of pushback on my comments around safety. A lot of people, armchair Einsteins, who thought they knew a little bit more about engineering and crash safety than they actually did, explaining how because the steel was so strong and to be extremely unsafe and dangerous in an accident, these people failing to understand how you engineer vehicles to behave in a certain way in the event of a collision, scoring stuff, having the crumple zones, etc., to keep everyone, including the people that you may or may not be colliding with, safe, not just you in the vehicle. So I just want to make this point really clear. Don't worry. The Cybertruck is not going to be a death machine if it crashes into other people. You'll be safe. And they'll be relatively safe as well. But of course, mass is a big factor. As I've said on this channel many times before, and again had pushback from armchair Einsteins who should have thought more and commented less, explaining to me that, no, you've just been bought into all the advertising, man. No, that's not true. Let me tell you guys this, okay? All other things being equal, in the event of a collision, the more massive object, that means it weighs more, it's more massive, will always win. Always win. One more time. Always win. So irrespective of the crumple zone, what the material make, etc., generally speaking, Cybertruck is going to be one of the safer vehicles on the planet because A, it's got the exoskeleton, and B, it's just gigantic.
What are your thoughts on Tesla focusing on innovation rather than advertising and PR? What a great idea. Somebody else should think of that too. I think Tesla gets in the news every day. Why? Because they have a leader. Can you tell me who the president of VW is? Do you know who the president of Ford is? Do you know who GM is run by? Do you know who's run by who runs Toyota, Honda, Kia, Hyundai? No, you don't know any of them. But you do know who's running Tesla. Why would I need to have advertising if I had somebody like that at the helm? Why would I need advertising? Why would I need PR?
Some low-key savagery there from Sandy Munro. Don't know if you guys caught that, but Sandy Munro there just implied that the only automotive company that actually has a competent leader is Tesla. The rest of them, I mean, you don't even know the names of the CEO or president. Fair point, of course. A few people are ready to nitpick in the comments, oh man, I've heard of Herbert Diess and Mary Barra. Probably because you've been watching so many videos on Tesla that you've heard those names come up just as a point of reference and mockery.
Why does it seem like Tesla is the only company that can do 300 plus miles with an EV? And that's because they think ahead. They think ahead in a lot of different ways. So, if we look at the modules that you'll find inside of a Tesla, you're looking at about five electronic modules. If you look at the VW ID4, can't remember how many there was, but I think there was something like 68. And for the Maki, there was 48.
What a great metric there. 5 versus 68 and 48. At minimum, Tesla 10 times more efficient in this one domain.
Why? Why would I want to have those extra connections? Why would I want to do that? Because I've got a parts bin and I'm a slave to the parts bin. I have to go back to the parts bin because look, we already have it. We don't have to design it. We can just use this box and we'll put it in. But what does it do? It gives me extra weight, gives me extra connections, which means that my quality goes down. Anytime you have extra anything, it makes your quality go down. It drives mileage. Every little time you have another connection, it's going to reduce your mileage. Tesla is very clever at understanding how to milk a battery in a better way than everybody else. Tesla is sitting there at 75 kilowatt hours. What's the ID4? 100. Well, it should go farther, but it doesn't. Why? Because it weighs more. Why? Because it's got too many connections. Why? Because everything is too complicated. You add, and wait. Wait's the biggest enemy of EVs. Anyway, who's the biggest competitor to Tesla? None. There are no competitors to Tesla. But when they do come, they'll be Chinese.
Now, given Sandy Munro's pedigree in the automotive industry, this is probably the most important comment of the entire Q&A. Of course, regular viewers of the channel may or may not have heard me say about 4 quadrillion times the exact same thing. Tesla has no competition. We have to be very distinct, right? There are vehicles that are electric that are for sale, but they suck so much ass that they cannot be considered competitive on anything that matters. Therefore, they're not a competitor, but a joke. And I think Sandy's right. Some of the so-called competition that eventually will be getting close to a level playing field with Tesla, still distant, but closer, coming out of China.
Are there any mega casting porosity problems? No. This is ultra high pressure vacuum forming, or vacuum molding, I should say. The amount of time to shoot this is measured in milliseconds. Milliseconds. I'm not saying seconds. I'm saying milliseconds. A few milliseconds is what shoots this. This thing hasn't got time for porosity. This thing doesn't have to be, because of the material, and if you want to know about that, I'm not going to try and flip through this stupid book again. But anyway, if you want to know the material, we have it. It's called a 386 aluminum. You don't find it normally. It has some extra options that we don't know what they're there for. Not options, alloys that we don't know why they're there, but they did put some extra stuff in. There's no T6 heat treat on this for the real engineers in the audience, which would be what we would think would be able to happen or have to happen. This thing comes out of the mold. It's perfect every time. There's no warpage, no nothing. This is really, really amazing. It's better than what I could have possibly hoped for when I was trying to do something similar to this when I was still working at Ford in the 80s.
So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I love hearing Sandy Munro talk Tesla and engineering. Never get sick of this stuff. I just nerd out on it. It's just so amazing to see someone with such expertise in automotive manufacturing just fawning over so many different things that Tesla are doing better than everyone else. Let me know in the comments below if you're enjoying these engineering deep dives, and if not, what's wrong with you, dude? Why are you still watching the video? I'm Stephen Mark Ryan. This is Solving the Money Problem, and I love you all. And don't forget, if you'd like up to $250 in free crypto bonuses with BlockFi, use the link in the description. You can also get 2 free stocks with WeBull and a free stock with Stake, also linked in the description. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And of course, if you have any ideas for future videos, let me know. I read all your comments. P.S. If you're still watching, you're awesome. If you'd like early access, exclusive videos, regular Q&As, our private Discord server and more, consider supporting the channel at patreon.com/solvingthemoneyproblem so I can keep creating content for you guys. There's a link in the description. You can now also become a member of the channel for some exclusive perks. To learn more, click the join button next to subscribe. And don't don't forget to check out our merch store. Either way, the best form of support is you being here and watching, so thanks again.